You go to the range, you burn through pellets. Maybe you took a class or two, but your groups never tighten. Follow-up shots feel sluggish, and the more you shoot, the more frustrated you get. What if I told you the reason has nothing to do with buying a new scope or a hotter regulator? What you're about to see will surprise you. 12 exact changes that close groups, speed up follow-ups, and make your airgun feel like an extension of your body. Stay with me, and by the end, you'll know what to tweak the next time you load your PCP. This isn't about flashy tricks. It's about fundamentals most shooters never learn. Not from friends, not from most range instructors, and rarely from manufacturers' manuals. These are the tacit rules high-level shooters live by. Grip geometry, sight discipline, pellet selection, the rhythm of your breathing, and how you manage the unique behavior of PCP systems. Over the next segments, we'll walk step by step through each secret, why it works in plain physics and human physiology, and how to practice it so it becomes automatic. I'll also give suggested visuals editors can cut to so your viewer both sees and understands the change. Apply even half of these and you will notice measurable improvement. No new gear required. Secret 12. Raise your grip as high as possible. Deep contact. If you still wrap your hand low on the frame, you're giving the recoil a lever to rotate the muzzle up. Think lever arms. The farther the force is from the axis, the more torque. On pistols and short air pistols, the idea is identical for recoil and muzzle flip. Except with airguns, your perceived recoil pattern can be softer but more decisive. Move your grip high. Seat the palm deeply at the rear tang so the barrel axis lines up with your forearm. You will reduce muzzle rise and gain faster sight recovery. Warning, don't put flesh where the slide or action moves. Avoid contact that will cause binding. Visualize the barrel and forearm as a single line. Your hand is the fulcrum that keeps that line stable. Sound simple? It is, but how many range trips have you wasted with a low, sloppy grip? Secret 11. Your support hand does the heavy lifting.
Here's what instructors rarely emphasize. Your trigger hand is for finesse. Your support hand is the engine. Instead of crushing the grip with your firing hand until your knuckles blanch, let that hand control the fine movement of the trigger. The support hand should wrap and squeeze sideways, driving the palm forward and creating opposing pressure. I call it the two-handed platform. Support hand provides raw force. Firing hand gives delicate timing. Try this unloaded. Grip like you mean to rip the stock apart. You will feel the gun become a single solid piece between two controlled forces. 10 minutes of dry repetitions with this pressure profile rewires your hands. Secret 10. Master the surprise break, the unexpected shot. If you flinch at the sound, you're sabotaging your shot. The brain anticipates the bang and the body braces, altering aim. The cure is the surprise break. A steady, progressive squeeze until the sear releases without a telltale jerk. Practice dry fire, focusing on the moment the shot surprises you. On PCPs, with typically light and crisp triggers on tuned setups, this is even more potent. But beware of negligent discharge. Always verify the rifle is unloaded and barrel safe during practice. Want immediate feedback? Put a small mark on the rear sight and watch if it moves at the instant of break. Secret 9. Dry fire is your highest ROI training. Dry fire isn't fake practice. It's the foundation. 10 minutes a day on trigger control, sight alignment, and breathing rhythms will create infinitely more skill per pellet than 100 thoughtless live rounds. For PCP shooters, simulate the trigger and follow through exactly as you would live. And use a small, precise target or a coin on the slide to test movement. Mark the front sight with a tiny contrasting dot so you can see even millimeter shifts. Muscle memory built in silence translates to cleaner live fire groups and saves pellets. Think of dry fire as piano practice. You don't need sound to build the fingers that make music. Secret 8. Exploit the reset for speed and control.
Too many shooters hammer the trigger and yank it completely for the next shot. That wastes travel and time. Instead, release just enough to feel the reset click, then squeeze again. That halves the trigger travel you must repeat and keeps your sights anchored. Every platform has a reset signature. Find it in dry fire and then build cadence. In action sequences or fast strings, that reset is the difference between a sloppy follow-up and a deliberate hit. String drills at low pellet velocities or with reduced power allow you to practice reset without excessive recoil. Secret 7. Always focus on the front sight. And yes, even with red dots. Your eye can sharply focus at only one distance at a time. If you try to focus on both the target and the sights, the result is a fuzzy compromise. The front sight must be razor sharp. Everything else is background. With air rifles, particularly at short to medium ranges used in field target or pest control, front sight discipline yields consistently tight groups. With optics, the principle translates. Pick the reference, the dot or reticle, and keep it crisp. Never chase the impact. Your brain will want to look at the hole. Resist it. Front sight sharp, target secondary. Secret 6. Push-pull tension creates a locked platform. Stability isn't just feet and stance, it's what your hands do. Push the gun forward with your firing hand, while your support hand pulls it in. That opposing tension locks the rifle between your hands like a compressed spring. Combine this with a slight forward lean, hips back, and weight on your toes, and the whole body becomes a recoil sponge. On long shots with a PCP, this tension returns the sights faster and reduces oscillation. Adjust the tension until the rifle feels like an integrated part of your torso. It's like wringing a towel between your hands. The more even the forces, the less it moves. Secret 5. Know your dominant eye and align for it. Many shooters chase form but ignore the one sensor that matters, your dominant eye. Use the simple triangle test to discover it. If your dominant eye isn't on the same side as your shooting hand, you are cross-dominant and will
unconsciously shift head or gun to compensate. The fix is practical. Adjust your cheek weld and head angle to bring the dominant eye in line, or experiment with opposite hand shooting. For airgun disciplines, small head shifts can produce big changes in point of impact. Moving your eye alignment by mere millimeters can tighten groups instantly. Visual tip: overlay, triangular test, steps in 3 brief bullets. Secret 4. Ammunition consistency matters. Pellets are picky. If you think all pellets act the same, think again. Weight, head size, skirt elasticity, and even batch-to-batch variation change how a pellet exits the barrel, how it stabilizes, and where it hits. Test a handful of candidate pellets at your preferred range. Watch group shapes and chronograph for velocity spread. When you find one that dances with your barrel, stick with it for match-grade shooting, defense, or critical pest work. Swapping pellets like socks introduces variables that hide your real problems. Test at least 3 pellet types across several strings and keep a record. Consistency beats variety for real improvement. Secret 3. Clean with intelligence, not obsession. A clean rifle is a reliable rifle, but over-cleaning can be as harmful as neglect. Aggressive brushing and improper solvents can wear rifling and disturb the fine bore finish that helps accuracy. Focus cleaning on wear and contact zones. Bore when fouling affects groups, chamber faces, seals on PCPs, and action rails. Use the right size brushes and soft patches. Avoid excess oil in the action where grit can collect. Some precision shooters even leave a whisper of residue in the bore, because that film stabilizes pellet velocity. Clean for function, not for shine. Show correct patch direction and avoid harsh metal-on-metal brush shots. Secret 2. Control your breath at the right moment. Every breath moves your sights. The trick is not to hold your breath like you're underwater. but to time the break with the natural pause between exhale and the next inhale. That tiny, quiet window is your shooting sweet spot. Practice it in dry fire and in live strings. For precision air rifle work, that pause is often the difference between a 5-shot group and a ragged string when shooting at distance. Breathe out halfway, stop, and press. Secret 1. Use a sling to multiply stability. Yes, even in field rigs. A sling isn't just for carrying gear. It's a third anchor. Wrap a sling securely and tension it so your support arm loads into it. You gain a fixed contact that reduces shake and fatigue. In standing precision or when using barricades, that sling becomes the anchor that holds the rifle steady and recovers sights faster. Modern quick adjust slings let you dial tension on the fly, learn the mechanics, and your standing groups will thank you. 3 minutes to fit and tension. Make it part of your carry routine. 12 practical shooting secrets, distilled and ready to practice. If you apply even half of these, raise your grip, build a true two-handed platform, master the surprise break, practice dry fire, respect pellet choice, and use a sling, you will see your groups tighten, your follow-up shots speed up, and your confidence grow. What you just heard is not hype. It is the steady work that separates hobbyists from skilled shooters. The real change comes from consistent, focused practice. Start with dry fire for 10 minutes a day. Test pellet consistency with short recorded strings and make one mechanical change at a time so you can measure the improvement. This approach turns theory into repeatable hits. Want the exact drills we use? Download the practice plan in the description. It has step-by-step exercises, rep counts, and recommended progressions. Try it for 2 weeks and post your results in the comments. I read them. If this video helped you, hit subscribe, click the bell, and drop a comment with your stubbornest accuracy problem. I'll answer the most common ones in the next episode. Share this with a range buddy who keeps blaming their kit instead of their technique. And if you want more advanced walkthroughs, like tuning a PCP regulator for consistent stringing, watch the video on screen now.